How are you feeling, Harmony?
Good.
I feel good too. I feel blissed out. What was day one on Aggro Drift? What was day one? What was the first conversation you had about the film with your creative team?
The first conversation? I was trying to make something good. It was a brief. We were trying to see maybe if there was something that comes after movies.
So yeah, and so what you've said in interviews that you've been kind of disillusioned or bored with movies. What has excited you in the world of sort of art and technology?
Oh, Pokemon Go, Legend of Zelda, GTA. I just started getting bored of just conventional movies and kind of. I just wanted to see if there was some place that I could go that was more like a sensory experience, that felt almost more like audiovisual drugs or something, aesthetic drugs, or just some type of what comes after kind of linear movies.
And how did you land on like the genre that I feel like you're sort of interrogating this film as like the action movie, the assassin story, and that like archetype? Where did that come from?
I don't really know. I wanted to do a Hitman movie for a while, that kind of dystopian, tropical, it's like a glitch world. It's like the real world, but it's like pushed into something hyper glitchy and like looped and kind of game-like. But it's like in between worlds, kind of.
Yeah, you've defined it as sort of game core, is sort of the term you've been using.
Yeah. Game core.
So when you began this process, what was the idea though to employ infrared cameras? Was that something from the beginning you were always already interested in exploring?
This dude at NASA ship just
NASA?
Yeah. This guy's trying to live to be a couple hundred years old. But he works at NASA. And he had these kind of
these are NASA cameras?
Yeah.
And so after you, but what was the, so when you arrive on set, you got these NASA cameras, you got this idea of this Hitman story. How did you go about, did you have something written out, or was it really about discovering it on set with the actors?
Oh yeah, Toronto. Oh yeah.
Show up on set and you've got the cameras and
just make it up.
But you speak to, there's like a bunch of lore, I feel like, in this film. So maybe could you speak to some of the sort of the writing of the lore and coming and how those conversations sort of emerged? That's a fun answer,
we had the concept and the story. There was not a conventional script. It was spent like a year or two working on developing the visual language and the language itself, and then we would kind of it was kind of like a freestyling. I always like when rappers are freestyle, so I want to get to the point where I can just freestyle a movie. And so it was based on an idea I kind of knew, but to be honest with you, everyone on this, and really none of us really thought we were making a movie.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to make something else that was closer to just like an experience.
And the dialogue, I've watched the film a few times now, and there's like a mantra-like quality to the dialogue, the repetition of certain phrases, poetry. Was that a process of, were you writing these lines and then feeding them to the actors, or was this a process of like working with Jordy and Travis?
It was just kind of, I like, certain things in gaming, or dialogue in GTA and stuff. It was just like, I had this kind of idea of just platitudes and repetition and this kind of like looping dialogue that was, almost like trance. Like if you listen to trance music or electronic music, how can you do that with, in 2D? How can you do that narratively? So it was just an attempt to.
And speaking of music, can you talk about your collaboration with Aggro Music and the score, which is the...
Oh yeah, actually, the way he scored is amazing because I don't think he ever saw the movie. I still think he's seen the movie. He was just texting me the music. So I think I got we were shooting at 100 texts of the music.
dropping it in.
I explained to him what it was about. He was like, cool. I asked him if he wanted to see it. He was like, no, I'm good.
What was your explanation? Like, in terms of it, were you asking for a specific style of music, or was it just?
I'd always been a fan of his, and I liked just the soundscapes. And I mean, he's been more famous for his beats, but I kind of liked the soundscapes. It was super dramatic and just like, and so he would send us like loops that he would make and things that we would slow them down or speed them up or kind of like make them fit the picture. But most of it was just text to me. He didn't like he wasn't scoring a picture.
Yeah. And then it was just a matter of feeling, like listening to the music and going, oh, that would work here.
Yeah.
Very organic process.
I still don't think he's seen it.
Pardon?
I still don't think he's actually seen it.
I guess another question I have is just like, after you shot it with infrared, you're also adding animation layers to the characters, and what sort of informed those textures, or how did you arrive at sort of the textural quality and the patterns that sort of appear in?
It was just something we experimented with for a while. I mean, I had started this crew. I've been working with this crew. I was closer to like a kind of design collective, except everything's based in kind of tech and VFX and gaming and stuff. And so we had spent like a while trying to develop like a visual language that I thought was compelling and something I hadn't seen before. So it's layered. It's like there's a lot of different stuff. There's VFX. There's AI in there. There's obviously thermal, and then we're using engines. It's a kind of experiment.
And having done this experiment, like, how do you feel? Like you said, you weren't trying to make a movie, but we're at now at film festival, the second film festival it's been at. What do you think that means, sort of in terms of the result and how audiences perceived it?
It's great. Honestly, it's always it is what it is. It's a thing. There's not like one way to take the film at all. It's more just any reactions. It's good. I just set out to try to entertain myself and hopefully make something that's entertaining for Toronto.
So, can you talk about the casting of the film? How you think the actors?
There's barely any actors. I mean, Jordy Mola was living 3 doors down from me. I never even met him. I hadn't met him. Someone got my WhatsApp number, and I live on the water. You have these like lizards poop on the back patio. He would like just sing clips.
And so it was just a matter of just being like, do you want to be the world's greatest assassin tomorrow?
I just liked the way he moved. I liked him in Blow, and I love the way he moved and talking like. And from Spain. And
could you describe, like, were you directing the actors? Because they do have like a certain kind of movement that.
We were watching a lot of games. We're just watching games and playing games, and I was just kind of like, it was just like physical. I don't know. It's just I was showing him game clips.
I love that moment when he's just tapping. He's sort of tapping on the banister.
Oh, you like that, do you?
Yeah. I do. I mean, I was tapping, with him outside this room.
That's suspicious.
But was that just sort of like free form where you're out there, like just start doing that?
I think Jordy, he has like 4 or 5 albums of like drum records, but I don't think he ever even learned to play the drum. But he got like these drum records that he puts out where he just good shit.
And the giant CGI demon that sort of stalks the world and kind of synchronizes with Bo, the assassin's life, was that something again through experimentation, or what was sort of motivating that idea?
We were just in the lab, like with the crew. They were like coming up with different things, they're developing different things, and we're trying. A lot of that stuff wasn't even, I hadn't really imagined it, and we were just kind of going in there seeing what worked, and post took a long time just because it was a lot of experimenting. And I think that was just one of the devil, the demons were like some of the stuff that developed out of the creative process in post.
Cool. Probably don't have that much time for questions, but...
Couple questions, I'm going to split.
Want to go right down here first?
yeah, I just want to say I loved your comments about Spielberg and how like the Tron trailer was better than anything Spielberg has ever done. Please keep on continuing that. And when are you going to make those masks like available to buy?
When are we going to be able to wear masks like that?
Probably soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. I think next month.
Back up there.
How's Werner? Has Werner seen this?
No, I don't think so.
Next question over there.
What was it like working with Travis Scott?
He's great.
Travis Scott is great. Over there.
Thanks so much for showing up. That was amazing. I'm just wondering, do you consider this sort of like a continuation of what you said years ago, like your liquid narrative sort of interest?
Is this a continuation of liquid narrative?
I mean, it's probably a bit, ever since I was a kid, ever since I was making movies, I was always trying to get to something that was beyond a simple articulation. I was always trying to, whether people understood it or not, or whether I was always trying to get to a place that there was more of like a physical component to watching. It was more about like the way it made you feel, and I would always describe it as a kind of liquid narrative, and so it's probably been a lifelong obsession.
Last question in the middle there. Well, how did you decide on the colors? You had the image initially, but then you're also cycling through different colors.
I've just been obsessed with color my whole life. Like color, I just follow the light. I just want to like carve images out of the sky.
Then let's follow the light together, folks.